Hello, welcome to Reviews You Can Use. Today's book review is on Mike Lupica's Heat. This book right here. Now, if Mike Lupica sounds familiar to you, then you may know him best as the author of many sports books, like the novels Travel Team, Million Dollar Throw, Summer Ball, and the Game Changers series. This one I have right here. It's called Heavy Hitters. So you may have heard of these books. You also may know him from his commentary on sports and him appearing on ESPN. But his first young adult novel was Heat, and that is what we are reviewing. I had to read this book going into 9th grade, so I thought, let's turn this into a fun review, shall we? I'll be talking about the 4 important moments in my opinion, and its main message, plus its resolution. Now, before we begin, make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons. It will help support the channel and will grow the algorithm for more people to see my work. And while you are doing that, you can make sure to hit that notify so you never miss a Reviews You Can Use upload. Now, let's get started with Michael Lupica's Heat review. Here we go. Here is what the story is about. The story revolves around Michael Ario. He is 12 years old. He is a baseball pitcher and is an immigrant from Cuba. The problem of the story is that Michael and his older brother Carlos are alone because their parents have died, and the boys have to lie so that they will not be separated and put into foster homes, while Carlos is also taking care of himself and his little brother Michael. Michael has to provide a birth certificate so he can play in the Little League World League Series. However, he doesn't have it, which leads to him not being able to play in the biggest game of his life. Now, I'm going to talk about the 4 important moments/quotes in the book. In my opinion, they are in my opinion. The first important moment in the book is when it says, sometimes he didn't care whether the game was on television or not. Even if his man was on the mound, Michael would take his transistor radio and go outside on the fire escape, the one that was on the side of the building facing 158th Street, and sit facing the stadium and listening to the crowd as much as he did to the real Yankee announcers, hearing the cheers float out of the top of the place and race straight up the hill to where he sat. This moment in the book shows us that Michael Ario lives close enough to the stadium to hear a baseball game, but still has to use his imagination to picture it. It sets him up for the motivation he needs to achieve his goal for playing there someday. The second important moment is when it says, on days like this, baseball would make Michael as happy as it ever did. No umpires, no coaches, no rules, except the ones you made up. This quote is important to the readers because it tells us that Michael loves baseball because it makes him happy. He especially loves to get together with friends and just play baseball without all the constraints of a real game. He simply enjoys the game. Like they say in The Sandlot, baseball is life. The third important moment, or quote, in Heat is when one of the characters, Manny Cabrera, says, you want to make yourself useful? Figure out something that will help us win the game. Manny is the catcher of Michael's team and is Michael's best friend. He says this quote to Michael because he wants him to be productive and stop feeling sorry for himself. Manny wants Michael to participate in the game by helping to coach third base and come up with a plan to help the team win. This moment helps Michael to become engaged in the game instead of talking like a loser. The last important moment, or quote, in the book is, only today he wasn't interested in heroes. All he wanted today was a father, and not even his own Elise. Maybe that was what finally changed his luck, because 5 minutes later, El Grande showed up. This moment in the book shows us that Michael is desperate for guidance from a father figure. It's more personal than wanting just a hero figure because, of course, in the story, we learn that his dad dies, and he has no one to go for guidance or advice. This introduces the character of El Grande and the fatherly impact he will have on the outcome of Michael's story. This book even shows us 2 important values that I liked. I think values are important for people to have and follow, and I spotted 2 that I liked. The first one is respect. Michael Ario's baseball coach recognizes the talent he has for pitching. Coach Kelly Mann treats Michael with respect. This respect makes Michael more confident and helps to motivate him to do his best for the coach. This can happen in real life, like school respect between teachers and students, or other people in your life. If you show respect, there is more motivation to do better. The second value that I liked is accountability. Michael Ario lies about his age in order to play baseball. He used his father's birth certificate to play Little League due to him not having his own. With the help of his brother Carlos, Michael admits the truth and deals with the consequences of sitting out for most of the season. That is something all people need to be held accountable for, our actions and decisions, even at schools. Not the certificate thing, that's just in the story, but our own problems, and we have to be held accountable for our actions and decisions. The main conflicts in the book are resolved. For Michael and Carlos's situation, they convince Mr. Gibbs that their friend's uncle was their dad. He's convincing enough that Mr. Gibbs believes him and doesn't worry about Michael anymore. The second conflict that is resolved is Michael finding his birth certificate. It is located in Cuba and brought to the field by El Grande. He was able to step in and help retrieve the birth certificate so that Michael could play in the game, which led to the championship. In the end, this book was a good read, and it needs to be read more. Seriously, this needs to be read more. I think Mike Lupica's books are read a lot, but I think his books need to be read more. That's just me. Its main message is to never give up on yourself when life gets tough. Michael Ario had his parents die, and his dream of playing baseball was taken away from him. He never gave up. He learned to rely on others who helped him achieve his goals. We all need to learn to accept help when we are faced with tragedy. If we can learn to rely on each other, we can get through the rough times. So, I give it a 9 out of 10. A very good read. I would recommend this book to a friend because it is a great story with a baseball theme. This book keeps you engaged by throwing obstacles in the way of happiness and finding out how Michael overcomes them. Finding out how his hero saves the day in the end is a great climax to the book. That is all for today on Reviews You Can Use. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Please give this book a read. Please give this book Heat a read. Please. I think they're making a film adaptation. They confirmed it, but I'm not so sure if that's still getting on the ground because of the writer's strike. So if this gets a movie adaptation, I will review it. So please give this video a like and to share this with your friends. If you want to stay up to date with what I do, make sure to follow my socials. I'm trying to grow my platform past just YouTube. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, X, and Etsy, where I sell channel merch, so please consider buying something if you are a fan of my work. So, see you next time on Reviews You Can Use. Ciao, amigos.